Fernando Garcia. My presentation today is about video cards and video memory. Basically, the device that controls what's displayed on your screen on a computer. It can range from many different types of video cards, different prices, different designs mostly. So what is a video card? Video card is a hardware device that controls what the processor sends to display. The better the video card, the better the display is going to be, such as if you want an HD display, you need a better video card. Basically, it uses a GPU and VRAM to do that. It basically manages the display. It also calculates the 3D environment, such if you're using an application that requires 3D, like a video game or something. It calculates the physics needed to display shadows of height, depth, all this kind of stuff. The performance is basically calculated in frame rate per second. The better it is, the more frames you see on the screen, so it's less laggy, less choppy as you see it. Basically, it uses the calculation of physics and shading, and the slower it is, the worse you're going to see. The GPU is the graphics processing unit. It basically is the hardware chip in the video card that controls how this is done. It takes a lot of the CPU and the RAM, and it also enables high resolution and higher end up video cards. It is basically, the video card is located sideways over here on the computer. It's connected to the motherboard. It also connected to the power supply as it needs a lot of electricity to run. It's normally this big. Mostly is the big ones. It's sometimes connected to the motherboard essentially. In video cards in the desktop are normally interchangeable. In a laptop, it's normally integrated into a motherboard, so you cannot really change it. It all depends on the case, how many ones you can have. Some can have 3, some can have 1, depends on the slot. Video memory is basically the memory inside the video card that acts as a buffer between the CPU and the display. It stores the image data for the computer to speed processing, display of video, and graphics. Because most programs today demand a lot of graphics to work, such as HD movies, video games, stuff like that. It provides a better realistic environment for your applications, also to make things faster. It basically acts as a buffer between the microprocessor and the display. It basically, when the information is sent from the processor, it reaches into RAM, sends it to the video card, where it stores it temporarily in the video memory, then it sends it to the display. It's also written to the video memory. I mean, it can be measured in different amounts, like in megabytes and gigabytes. The bigger normally is the better. It also uses something called the RAM DAC to convert it. There's different types of video cards. The most basic ones use 255 video memory. They're really basic, so they cannot really do much. It goes up in 512, 1 gigabyte, and so on. If you're going to use, like, for example, 2 screens on a computer, you need a higher end one so it displays correctly. The BIOS is the program inside your computer that governs the application. So if you, for example, you want to overclock the video card, you need to go to the BIOS, and so you can interact with it there. Of course, the RAM DAC is basically the chip inside the video card that converts the signals from the video memory into the display. It's basically the last thing from the computer into the computer screen that touches the video card. As well, video cards consume a lot of electricity. Normally, they're connected directly to the power supply. It's because they normally they can go up to like 1,000 watts in energy. That's why you need. They sometimes have a cooling system in them. There are different types of video cards. There's one that are called integrated ones, made by Intel with other companies, that are normally integrated into the motherboard, so it's not interchangeable. They're normally the less powerful ones. They're also major brand ones. 2 major brands are called ATI Radeon and NVIDIA. They provide the highest rating video cards out there right now. They normally can be very expensive, or it can be cheap. There's all types of video cards you choose from. There's different features. There's something called Crossfire and SLI. It's basically the program that they use to have more than one in your computer. The ATI's video cards are made by AMD, so they work with AMD processor better. NVIDIA is normally connected to Intel. And the 2 companies basically sell the chip technologies to other companies such as PNY, EVGA, Sapphire, Asus, when those companies actually make the physical video card and not only the chip.